Skip, let me start with you. What shot do you give Kawhi to win MVP?
Not enough. Not enough of a shot, and I'll tell you why. This is obviously a huge week for Kawhi because he got to go head-to-head with Harden. He gets to go head-to-head with Westbrook tonight, and he gets to go head-to-head with Golden State at home on Saturday night. And obviously now that Westbrook's teammates have been struggling around Westbrook, that door has been cracked open for the MVP because obviously the other night, head-to-head with James Harden, Kawhi outscored him 17-4 in the fourth quarter while insisting on guarding James Harden. That was highly impressive. And I think he passed James Harden on that night because Houston has now lost 3 of its last 5, including last night at home to Utah as James Harden went 0 for 8 from 3. So I'm thinking he's starting to fade a little bit, just as Russell is starting to fade. So here comes Kawhi, who has one huge disadvantage up against James Harden or especially Russell Westbrook. He badly loses the battle of the brands. I'm talking about the off-court brands because Kawhi Leonard has no off-court brand. And Russell Westbrook, and well both of them, James and Russell have 2 of the biggest brands, growing brands in the NBA. Obviously, LeBron's at the top, Steph's somewhere up in there, but does
KD's in the mix.
KD's in the mix, I'll give you that. But does anybody have any better national TV commercials than Russell Westbrook?
I tell you, I love Harden's when he's like,
well,
want me to
okay.
play defense.
Okay, good.
I mean, you know?
I'm with you.
But, yeah, you're right,
both
man.
of their brands are just skyrocketing
Yes.
because neither of those 2 guys, Russell or James, are what I would call stunning interviews. You know, they're not great in interviews. They don't have that much to say.
Right.
But man, Russell, the Mountain Dew commercials or the Jordan Foot Locker commercials or whatever, True Religion, plus his wardrobe is so outrageous that it's either everybody either loves or hates his wardrobe, but everybody talks about both of them. That's true. Good point. So they have that going. Kawhi has nothing going for him. He does not like to be interviewed. He's rarely interviewed after a Spurs home game. It's rare that he will stand up and talk to anybody, even by his locker. He's just shy. He just doesn't like it.
He's the only brother in America still wearing cornrows.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. Touche. You got me. Yeah.
And that 1994 Blazer or whatever he's driving.
I know. Well, and it looked like a couple of years ago that Jordan Brand was going to release its Kawhi Leonard collection, and it just I don't know what happened, but it didn't happen. And now that nickname that he had, the Claw with a K, it just never really stuck or took off. It was trending the other night because the Spurs Nation just said, we got to, reignite this, the Claw. Because he is the Claw, because he's got the biggest hands, okay. But he's got no commercials. He is the silent assassin on the court. But silent assassin won't play off the court because it does nothing for you to fuel your brand. And I think in the end, it does hurt his sort of notoriety or his presence in the MVP race. He's just like unknown.
Well,
so people,
there's no question it hurts his public persona with fans, okay? If he had a colorful personality like LeBron or Steph, if he danced on he
Kyrie
would be as big as anybody.
Yes.
He would be as big as anybody. But here's the problem I have with your argument. The public doesn't vote for the awards. And I would like to believe, and I'll speak for myself, that we in the media who vote are more sophisticated and professional enough not to let that impact us.
Okay,
I voted for Steve Nash.
Okay, but I'll give
twice,
you that. But I know
once.
some of the other voters who get caught up in brands. They do because they're human.
Dirk's won it. Dirk's never been this huge brand.
A long time ago.
Nash was never a huge brand. Derrick Rose won it in 2011. His personality is very similar to Kawhi's. He's a little more outspoken, but
wait a second.
He's
Steve Nash was a great interview, and he had the long hair, and I don't know. He had.
So if you want to say interviews with the media, that subconsciously, if a guy's nice to you, if he gives you great interviews, if he gives you great
it helps.
maybe
Maybe
subconsciously. But I'll say this: I've got Kawhi right. I've got him slightly ahead of Westbrook right now. I have it as a 4-man race. LeBron's 4th. He's got the hardest hill to climb because his team's record just isn't that good for what they are. Yeah. They're going to win 55 games at this pace. They play the easiest schedule of the MVP candidates. I've got Kawhi and Harden battling for number 1 right now. It's close. It could change. it would be easier if Westbrook didn't average his triple-double. And he may not. I don't care if it's 9.9. That'll be enough to take him out of the race.
They're going to round it up like the NCAA did to that college guy.
No, we won't.
He was 29.9685.
Oh,
and the NBA and the NCAA rounded it up to 30.
Because Oscar averaged like 9.5 several years, rebounds,
9.7,
assist, or whatever. That's the only reason Russ is in it. And it's a good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hallowed mark and it's deserved. But 44-game pace right now, I don't know that that's enough. I still have Harden slightly ahead of Kawhi. And this is why I had to put Kawhi right up there. Most of the arguments I've made for Harden, I could make for Kawhi. Not a great supporting cast. Good, but not terrific. Not a bunch of stars around you. But here's the problem. Another argument, his team is overachieving, doing much better than people expected record-wise.
You're talking about Harden's.
Both of them.
Okay.
Harden and Kawhi. Here's why I have Harden slightly ahead, and I know the head-to-head matchup, he won the other night. Harden's numbers are eye-popping. Kawhi's aren't. 26 points is great, but 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 48% field goal.
Could be Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensively, obviously, he's much, it's not even close. But here's the other argument for Harden over Kawhi. They're 5-1, the Spurs, without Kawhi. 12-1 over 12-4 over the last 2 years. I know it's not a 2-year award, but it's Popovich, man. He might be the MVP.
And I think last night hurt Kawhi Leonard's chances. Because what other MVP guy in the candidate? If OKC gets down by 2 without Westbrook, they're not coming back. We've seen the Cavaliers lose with Kyrie and Kevin Love on the court without LeBron. They were down 28. What team gets down 28 at home without their best player and is able to come back?
And 2 best players.
This is what's going to hurt Kawhi. And I give you this, Skip. Russell shows up to the game dressed to impress. Look at me. Kawhi shows up to the game like he called a pizza order in and he's going to pick up the pizza. He got on sweats. He got a do-rags up tight. Hey,
he does not care.
He is who he is.
That's why he's perfect with the Spurs.
And
Duncan was the same way.
And if you think about it, Kawhi is 48% field goal, almost 49. Westbrook is 42. 38 to 33. But here's the thing. Kawhi has 2 turnovers per game. Russell is 5.5. He and James Harden is on pace to break George McGinnis' record with the most turnovers in the season. And so here's the thing. You talking about the triple-double. Even when Big O averaged a triple-double, he didn't win the award.
I think it was different. I mean, Will averaged 50 and 26.
Well, hold on.
It was second.
Elgin Baylor averaged 38 and 18.
That same year?
That same year. Bob Pettit averaged 31 and 18. Walt Bellamy averaged 31 and 19.
Okay.
Jerry West
Russell
37.
didn't even average 19 points.
Okay, but no player.
So who do you have right now?
I got Harden 1. Okay. I got Kawhi 2. I got LeBron. I got LeBron in front of Westbrook. That shoot percentage, I can't get down with.
But Iverson won the MVP award at 42% shooting. There's a part of me, I gotta admit, that now 44 wins is too low. But if he averages a triple-double, I just feel like,
by the way,
you almost got to
you got to dismiss the turnovers. He has the ball in his hands more than any player has ever in the history of this league had the ball in his hands. His usage rate is off the charts. He's going to shatter Kobe Bryant's all-time usage rate of what's the percentage of time you have the ball in your hands. And it's too much. I don't love it, but it's why he's able to average a triple-double, and I think he still will average a triple-double.
So do you still have Russ?
I do, barely over Kawhi.
You're just being stubborn.
No, I'm not, because it's true. You just said it. Triple-double? If he averages a triple-double, and is he still
doesn't matter at all.
Is he still averaging a triple-double?
So what is there a win like floor or ceiling?
No,
like
he doesn't care.
If he wins 42, I mean the way they're dropping.
In this age, to average a triple-double would be astonishing to me, and it would be worthy of being an MVP because that team is not very good, and that team, while Westbrook is rising, I think the team is struggling and falling. They're just not very good. And by the way, the Spurs aren't a great basketball team except for that one guy. When that was Sacramento.
Aldridge is very good.
You know what? I'm not sold. I know too much. I know too much. He can
But he's
defend.
still a very good
They
player.
tried to make it his team last year, and they failed miserably around that. And only this year did Kawhi finally come out of his shell and say, get out of my way and give me the basketball. First time he's ever done it. LaMarcus has become just a cog in the system, mostly on defense more than on offense.
He's still a very good player.